AITA for snapping at my neighbor after she kept trying to make me her free maid, babysitter, and pet sitter all in one? I swear to God, I was just trying to be a decent neighbor. I moved into this suburban townhome complex last fall. It's one of those HOA-run neighborhoods outside of Austin. Vinyl fences, fake lakes, and everyone waves too much. I mostly keep to myself. I work remote for a logistics software company and walk my dog, Buddy, a very chill corgi, twice a day. The first few weeks were fine. Then Samantha moved in next door. Early 30s, single mom, cute kid, kinda scattered. Not a monster or anything, just, intense. You know those people who feel like they're always talking at you, not with you? That's her. Anyway, one morning I'm walking Buddy past her porch and she leans out in her fluffy robe and goes, "Hey, you mind grabbing my mail this week? I'm going to San Antonio for a conference. No big deal." I say sure. That was the beginning of the end. Next week, I'm walking Buddy again and she's in the yard with her kid. He's like 4, super into Paw Patrol. She goes, "Hey, can you hold Max for a second while I grab something?" Then hands me her kid's hand and bolts inside. No explanation, no follow-up. I'm just standing there awkwardly holding a toddler's hand like some dude off Craigslist. She comes back like 20 minutes later holding a bowl of cereal. "Thanks." He gets cranky if I leave him, then walks inside. Okay. I let it go. Figured she was frazzled. I didn't even say anything. But then, a week later, she leaves her dog's leash in my hand, literally. I'm walking past again, she's walking her dog, some fluffy golden doodle named Tango, and without saying anything, she just goes, "Oh, perfect timing," hands me the leash and runs inside yelling something about the oven. I'm stunned. Tango starts whining. I don't even know where he lives. I just stood there for 10 minutes until she finally comes back and says, "You're a lifesaver," like I was supposed to be there. That time I did say something. I said, "Hey, I'm not a dog sitter." She laughed and goes, "Well, you're dog adjacent," whatever the hell that means. Things escalated from there. She started texting me randomly. "Can you feed my cat tonight? I have a date. Can you watch Max for just 15 minutes? Spoiler, it was never 15 minutes. That 15-minute one turned into a full 90 minutes. I missed a Zoom meeting because of it. Want to know how I found out she was gone that long? Her kid told me, "Mommy said she was going to Ross and Target. And Starbucks." She got back with 2 bags and a Frappuccino. I was still too chicken to go nuclear, so I just said, "Hey, maybe let me know in advance next time?" And she smiled like I'd offered to adopt them. Then came the list. Last week, she knocks on my door holding a notebook. "Hey, so I'm going to be super slammed this weekend. Work, Max's soccer practice, my sister's baby shower. Do you think you could maybe..." She starts reading, "Feed Tango Friday, Sunday, feed her cat miso twice a day, water her plants, take in her packages, check in on Max if she's running late." I straight up interrupted her and said, "No." She blinked. "No to what?" "To all of it." Silence. I said, "I'm not your maid. I'm not your pet sitter. I'm not your babysitter. I'm literally just your neighbor. You gotta stop dumping your life on me." She looked so offended, like I'd insulted her personally. She goes, "Wow. So you're just gonna be a bad neighbor then?" I said, "No, I'm being a neighbor. You're asking me to be free labor." Then she left, and now she's been gossiping with the lady across the street. I saw them whispering and looking over here 2 days ago when I took Buddy out. Even my mom said, "Maybe you could have said it nicer." But I don't think I was wrong. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm just tired of people assuming they can unload their shit on others just because you said yes once. So yeah, after I told her off, I thought that was it. Honestly, I felt relieved, like I finally drew a line. For once in my life, I didn't fold just to avoid awkwardness. I blasted my "I don't owe anyone anything" playlist on Spotify and went about my day. Thought I was free. Then she showed up 2 days later, knocks on my door holding one of those plastic grocery bags. Inside were these dry-ass homemade muffins in a mismatched Tupperware and a folded note on top that said "Peace Offering." I opened the door just a crack. She smiled like nothing happened and went, "I just wanted to apologize for the other day." I didn't say anything, just looked at her. She kept going. "I didn't mean to make you feel taken advantage of. I was just overwhelmed. You know how it is when you're a single mom and no one helps? Now look, I get it's hard being a parent, and I get she's probably juggling more than I see. But this wasn't an apology. It was a resume of her struggles, and I was apparently supposed to hand her a medal for showing up at my door with muffins from a Betty Crocker box and 0 accountability. I said, "Okay, I accept the apology, but my boundary still stands." And she sighed, like loudly, then went, "Honestly, it just sucks. You were so nice before, and now you're acting like I'm the worst person in the world." Dude, I hadn't said more than 6 words, but suddenly I'm the villain because I don't want to water her ferns and babysit her kid while she gets her roots done at Ulta. I told her, being nice doesn't mean being available 24/7. She looked at me like I told her Santa wasn't real. Then she mumbled, well, I guess I'll just figure it out on my own then, and did the slow walk of disappointment off my porch. Cool, fine. I thought we were done. Nope. Cue the next phase, passive-aggressive gossip Olympics. A few days later, I'm out with Buddy, and I see her across the street talking to Barb. Yes, that Barb. The HOA snitch who once left a typed note in my mailbox because my recycling bin wasn't flushed to the curb. They both look over at me. I wave. They don't wave back. I'm like, okay, middle school called. They want their vibes back. Later that week, I'm walking past Barb's lawn, and over here, I just think some people pretend to be helpful until it's inconvenient. That night, someone shoved a flyer in my mailbox for a neighborhood kindness committee. Literally just said, it takes a village. Be the neighbor someone needs. It was on pink paper, smelled like guilt and Bath and Body Works. I'm not even joking. The next morning, Samantha posted on the Nextdoor app, some of us work full-time, raise kids, care for pets, and still show up for others. Be a blessing, not a burden. Community matters. Like, girl. She's turning I won't feed your cat while you ghost me for brunch into a morality play. It's like she's trying to cosplay as a struggling saint while casually forgetting the time she left me stranded with her 4-year-old and no heads up. And look, people started liking the post. Even Debbie from down the block commented, so true. We need more love in this world. I'm sitting there like, love is great, Deb, but I didn't sign up for unpaid labor because my porch faces yours. Also, side note, those muffins were so dry. Like, I took one bite and coughed up Sahara air. Even Buddy wouldn't finish one, and he eats socks. Now I'm wondering, should I say something? Post my own version? Or just let her run her little PR campaign? My friends say let it go. My mom still thinks I should have handled it more gently. But gently wasn't working. Gently got me ghost watching a toddler while his mom sampled throw pillows at Target. Anyway, the weirdest part? She stopped asking me for anything, but her kid didn't. Max started knocking on my door randomly, asking if Buddy could come out to play, asking if I had the little goldfish snacks. And that's where things took a turn I really didn't see coming. So yeah, at this point I thought things were cooling down. Samantha was doing her little social media martyr act, Barb was giving me the HOA cold shoulder, and I was just minding my business, rewatching The Bear and pretending I didn't live in a gated suburb full of people who treat boundaries like personal attacks. Then Max started showing up, not every day, just randomly, like Tuesday at 3:30 p.m., Friday at 6 p.m. Always alone, always knocking like it was no big deal. First time I opened the door and he's standing there in his Lightning McQueen shirt with a juice box asking, can Buddy come out? I was thrown off. I mean, yeah, Buddy's a dog. He loves everyone. But we don't usually do play dates. I said, hey, bud, maybe not right now. Buddy's napping. Max pouted. He can nap later. That was weird, but I let it go. Gave him a milk bone to give Buddy and said we'd see him around. Second time, it was 5:45 p.m. and I was literally in the middle of cooking. Doorbell rings. It's Max again, holding a wrinkled coloring book. Says he wants to draw Buddy's house. I ask, does your mom know you're here? He shrugs. She's sleeping. Or on her phone. Okay. I walk him back home that time. He doesn't knock, just walks in like the door's always unlocked. Samantha's on the couch in leggings and an oversized tee, scrolling TikTok. Some influencer screaming about skin serums. She barely looks up. Oh, hey. You found him? No apology, no concern, just vibes. I said, he came over again? I didn't know if you were expecting that. She just goes, he loves Buddy. It's like therapy for him then, like I should feel flattered. Honestly, you're really good with him. You ever thought about babysitting part-time? I said, I have a full-time job. She laughed. So do I. Doesn't mean I get to opt out of being a parent. I walked out before I said something rude. But here's where it gets seriously not funny. Couple days later, Saturday morning, I'm in the garage trying to find my jumper cables when I hear knocking again. It's Max. No shoes, hair messy, just holding a stuffed animal and looking weirdly serious. I kneel down like, hey buddy, everything okay? He whispers, and I swear to God, I remember every word. Mom said if I'm ever scared or something happens, I should come to you. I'm like, excuse me? I ask, did something happen? He doesn't answer, just hugs the stuffed animal tighter, then says, she cries a lot when no one's here. Now I'm in full alarm bell mode. I walk him back again, but this time I text Samantha first. Hey, Max is here again. Everything okay? She replies 20 minutes later. Oh, lol, sorry I fell asleep. He wanders sometimes. Wanders? He's 4. When I knock on the door, she opens it with a half-eaten bagel in hand, mascara smeared like she just woke up from a 2-day nap. I say, he said you told him to come to me if something happened. She rolls her eyes. It was a figure of speech. I just meant you're safe. I trust you, I'm like, but he's walking over here alone. No shoes. You can't just have him roaming around, she snaps. Well, maybe if his father gave us HAT, I wouldn't have to rely on neighbors who clearly think they're too good to care. Then she slams the door. I stood there in the silence of a cul-de-sac that smells like mulch and tension, and I felt weird. Like, yes, she's irresponsible. Yes, she's been dumping her life on me. But also, something's off. I called my sister that night. She's a social worker in Denver, and told her everything. You know what she said? Start documenting. I was like, what? You think it's that serious? She didn't even hesitate. You got a 4-year-old wandering barefoot across the street to your house and a mom who says, he wanders sometimes? Document, date, time, what he said, what she said, just in case. So I did, started a little Google Doc, called it Max Visits Log. I have 6 entries already, and here's the messed up part. The more Max comes over, the more I like the kid. He's sweet, smart, loves my dog. Once asked if my couch was only for adults or can I sit on it too. That one made my chest hurt, but I don't want to become his second parent. I didn't sign up for this. I just said yes to grabbing someone's mail. I'm starting to feel like, if I don't step in, no one else will. But if I do, I'm in it, you know? Like really in it. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. So, I tried to ignore it, tried to convince myself I was overreacting or reading too much into a messy situation. I even tried convincing myself that Samantha was just overwhelmed and doing her best, whatever that means. But then came Tuesday. It had rained the night before, not a light drizzle either, like full Texas downpour. Thunder, wind, trash bins rolling halfway down the street. The ground was still soaked, puddles everywhere, the kind of day where if you don't absolutely have to go outside, you don't. At 7:40 a.m., I was sipping coffee on my porch when I saw Max again, walking down the driveway, barefoot. His clothes were wet, no jacket, just his Spider-Man shirt and Paw Patrol pajama bottoms. Dragging that same stuffed animal by one arm, I ran to him. Max, what the hell? Where's your mom? He looked at me, shivering. She was yelling on the phone and told me to go outside. I didn't know where to go. That was it. That was my line. I scooped him up, wrapped him in a towel, called into work to say I'd be offline for the day, and sat there trying to figure out if I was about to ruin someone's life or save one. Then I made the call, first to my sister. She told me, you've already done more than most people would, but now you have to do it officially. So I called CPS. I didn't even know what to say at first. I kept repeating, I'm not trying to start drama. I don't think this kid is safe. They were calm, professional, asked a lot of questions. I gave them what I had, the Max Visits log, the dates, the quotes. I told them about the rain, about her disappearing, about the half-hearted apologies and dry muffins and unwashed dishes and unlocked door. They said they'd follow up. That was Tuesday. By Thursday, Samantha knew. I came home from Walking Buddy and saw a CPS business card half tucked into her doorframe. She was standing on her porch, arms crossed, red-eyed, hair wild like she hadn't slept. You called them. I didn't say anything. She walked up to me, way too close, and hissed, you have no idea what you've done. I told her as calmly as I could, he was wandering around barefoot after a storm. You told him to go outside. He said he was scared. I couldn't ignore that. She laughed like this bitter, broken little sound and said, you're so self-righteous. You think you're the hero in this? You think they're gonna fix anything? You just made everything worse. Then she said, I hope you feel good about this. About scaring a kid. About tearing apart a family. And then she walked back inside, slammed the door, and I haven't seen her since. But I've heard her. That night yelling, loud, muffled yelling, not words, just emotion. The next day, silence. No Max, no music, no TikTok blaring through open windows, just silence. Then Friday, there was a knock at my door. I opened it, half expecting Samantha with a frying pan or a guilt-trippy sob story. It was someone from CPS. A different worker this time, young guy, polite, said they'd been by a couple times but no one answered, so they were doing a check-in. I asked if Max was okay. He said, we can't share details, but we're on it. He paused, then added, for what it's worth, you probably did the right thing. It's messy, it always is, but ignoring it rarely makes it better. I nodded, didn't say much. My stomach was in knots. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on the couch watching Great British Bake Off reruns and staring at the wall, wondering if I just made a huge mistake or if I stopped something before it got worse. I miss Max, which is messed up, right? I barely knew the kid, but he was sweet, thoughtful, the kind of kid who said thank you after you handed him a juice box and asked if he was allowed to laugh loud in someone else's house. What's haunting me isn't whether I was right, it's that he trusted me, and now he's gone. I haven't seen him in over a week. Samantha's car is still in the driveway, blinds closed, no porch light, packages stacking up. It's like that house got swallowed up, and now Barb is back on her next-door bullshit again. Posted a vague, "some people should mind their own business before involving the government" rant. Has like 12 likes. Cool, Barb. Real subtle. My mom still says you could have just talked to her. But talk to her how? She had every chance to get help, to pull it together, to at least pretend she was trying. She used me. Over and over. She made me the escape route and the excuse. She gave that kid no backup plan except me. And the more I think about that, the more I know I did the right thing. Even if it sucks. Even if I feel like crap. Even if Max never comes back. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of silence from the house next door. I'd walk Buddy past it every day, hoping for some sign. A curtain shifting, lights turning on, music playing. Nothing. Just a quiet, locked-up house with a porch plant slowly dying and a tricycle tipped over on its side. I tried to let it go. Tried to move on. I got back into my routine. I worked. I hit the gym. I even started meal prepping like one of those annoying YouTubers who say gains unironically. But every time I opened my door, I looked left, toward her house, and felt that tight little pinch in my gut. Then one random Thursday evening, right as I'm finishing dinner, there's a knock at the door. I open it and it's her, Samantha. She looked not how I expected. Not angry, not defensive, just tired. Her hoodie was stained. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun that wasn't cute, just practical. And she was holding something behind her back. Before I could say anything, she said, "Can I talk?" I stepped outside, shut the door behind me. She looked around, then pulled her hand out. She was holding Max's stuffed animal, the same one he dragged around like it was his emotional support, everything. She didn't say anything at first, just stared at it, then finally said, "They took him. I mean, not forever. I still have visits, but he's with a foster family right now." She paused. "He has his own bed there, and clean clothes. He told me the lady makes banana pancakes." I stayed quiet. Then she looked up at me and said, "I hated you. I really did. When CPS showed up, I thought you were the worst kind of person. A nosy, smug neighbor who thought she knew everything." She laughed. Not like funny laughed, like bitter, broken laughed. "But then I got sober." I blinked. "Sober?" She nodded. "I've been an outpatient for 2 weeks. Therapy every day, NA meetings. I've been clean for 16 days. She looked down at the stuffed animal again. "I was using. Pills mostly. Sometimes other stuff. Max saw more than he should have. I didn't know what to say. I just leaned on the railing." She kept going. "You were right. You were so right. But I wasn't ready to hear it. I didn't want to believe I was that mom." She sighed. "I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm doing the work. I want him back. But even if I don't get that, I want to be someone he can be proud of." Someday she handed me the stuffed animal. "He wanted you to have this," said Buddy liked it too. That's when I lost it a little. Like, not full-on tears, but you know that throat-tight feeling where you're swallowing every 3 seconds and your chest feels like it's caving in? I just nodded and said, "Thanks." She started to walk away, then turned back. "And hey, I'm sorry for putting so much on you, for not seeing it, for dragging you into my mess." I said, "You didn't drag me." I walked in, and maybe I should have done it sooner. She gave a half smile. "Maybe, but at least you did it." Then she walked back across the lawn to her house. No dramatic music, no slow motion, just a tired woman walking back into the life she's trying to rebuild. It's been 2 months. She still goes to meetings. I know because I see her leave in the morning with that same faded canvas tote bag. Her porch light is back on. She planted new flowers. Sometimes I hear music again. Not loud, just, alive. Max hasn't come back yet, but she says he's doing well. They FaceTime every weekend. He started preschool, loves it. Made a friend named Oliver who also likes dinosaurs and goldfish crackers. Sometimes she waves at me when she sees me out with Buddy. Not the forced HOA wave, a real one. Last week she knocked on my door again, not to ask for anything, just to say thanks. Again. She gave me banana bread this time, moist banana bread. I took a bite and said, "Okay, you're officially forgiven for the muffins." She laughed. A real one. We're not friends, not yet, but we're not enemies. And maybe that's enough. Sometimes I still wonder if I did the right thing, if calling CPS was too much, if I should have tried something else first. But then I remember Max, barefoot in the rain, holding his stuffed animal, saying, "Mom told me to come to you if something happens." Something did happen, and I was there. So yeah, I made the call. It got messy. It still is messy. But if Max is safer now, even just a little, I'll take the mess. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.